Just start from the last instruction, the first paragraph, and we'll see. So, the last instruction Srila Prabhupada started his morning walk before dawn. He and the devotees knew their way well through Hare Krishna land to the public road, and once off the property, they turned left and then turned right and began walking the block leading to the beach. The sky began to lighten. At first, they could not visibly distinguish land from sea, from sky. But gradually, subtle nuances of color revealed the horizon, and they could see the vast plain of the Arabian Sea stretching to meet an even greater sea of sky, where last stars twinkled and faded. As Prabhupada and his small group walked along the broad beach, they were flanked on their left by a line of leaning palms and on their right by a rumbling surf. Srila Prabhupada wore a grey woolen chadar around his shoulders, a saffron silk kurta and dhoti, and peach colored canvas shoes. He used a cane, leaning not heavily on it but lightly. With each brisk step, he would point the cane ahead, poking it into the sand and lifting it again, rhythmically, marking the pace. He walked erectly and held his head high. A long line of Bombayites, many of them wealthy Juhu residents on their morning stroll, appeared, and a few coconut wallahs set up their carts, cutting off the tops of choice coconuts in anticipation of their first customers. Srila Prabhupada liked to walk at this time of morning, and weather permitting, he would do so no matter where he was in the world. Juhu Beach, however, was one of his favorite places to walk. Srila Prabhupada ki. So we continue our study from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 2, chapter entitled Hiranyakashipu, King of the Demons, and today's verse is verse 47. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama-shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nishtiki. Tavat karma nibandhanam tato viparyaya klesho maya yogo anuvartate yavallinganvito yatma tavat karma nibandhanam tato viparyaya klesho maya yogo anuvartate yavallinganvito yatma tavat karma nibandhanam tato viparyaya klesho maya yogo anuvartate. Please chant. Yavallinganvito yatma tavat karma nibandhanam tato viparyaya klesho maya yogo anuvartate. Vaishnavis. Nanvito yatma tavat karma nibandhanam ततो विपर्यय क्लेशो मायायोगो अनुवर्तते. Yavat, as long as linga anvita, covered by the subtle body. He, indeed, Atma, the soul. Tavat, that long. Karma, of fruitive activities. Nibandhanam, bondage. Tata, from that. Viparyaya, reversal. Wrongly thinking the body to be the self. Klesha, misery. Maya yoga, a strong relationship with the external illusory energy. Anuvartate follows. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada ki. As long as the spirit soul is covered by the subtle body consisting of the mind, intelligence and false ego, he is bound to the results of his fruitive activities. Because of this covering, the spirit soul is connected with the material energy and must accordingly suffer material conditions and reversals continually, life after life. Purport. The living entity is bound by the subtle body, consisting of the mind, intelligence, and false ego. At the time of death, therefore, the position of the mind becomes the cause for the next body. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajanti ante kalevaram. At the time of death, the mind sets the criteria for the spirit souls being carried to another type of body. If a living being resists the dictation of the mind and engages the mind in the loving service of the Lord, the mind cannot degrade him. The duty of all human beings, therefore, is to keep the mind always engaged at the lotus feet of the Lord. Savai mana Krishna padarvindayo. When the mind is engaged at the lotus feet of Krishna, the intelligence is purified, and then the intelligence gets inspiration from the super soul. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. Thus, the living entity makes progress toward liberation from material bondage. The individual living soul is subject to the laws of fruitive activity, but the super soul, Paramatma, is not affected by the fruitive activities of the individual soul. As confirmed in the Vedic Upanishad, the Paramatma and the Jivatma, who are likened to two birds, are sitting in the body. The Jivatma is enjoying or suffering by eating the fruits of the bodily activities, but the Paramatma, who is free from such bondage, witnesses and sanctions the activities of the individual soul as the individual soul desires. वैराग्य विद्या निज भक्ति योगा शिक्षार्थमेक पुरुष पुराना श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य शरीर धारी कृपाम्बुदीर्य तमहं प्रपद्ये मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारणम् वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining us in the study of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is Prem Bhakti Prasut, Prem Bhakti Udgar Updesh. So the origins of love, the source of love, it connects us to the source of love. It helps us how to express love, how to receive love and how to express love. In society, I believe we struggle receiving love and expressing love as well. We hesitate. Sometimes we get a bit confused in society when someone is expressing appreciation or joy for us, uh, and we struggle to appreciate the other person as well. In heart we may find okay, he or she is good, but we struggle to appreciate. So Srimad Bhagavatam Prem Bhakti Prasud Prem Bhakti Udgar Updesh. This helps us. Srimad Bhagavatam sets this culture how to receive love, how to give out love, how to share love, how to become an embodiment of love altogether. And Prem Bhakti Updesh, instructions, guidance, directions, how to navigate life, hmm, how to excel in life. So, taking shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam, we try to study Srimad Bhagavatam in the proper light. And with the blessings of the assembled Vaishnavas, offline and online Vaishnavas, pray for their blessings that I become the first listener of the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. I always remain a student of Srimad Bhagavatam in genuineness. I hope one day I understand that preaching is just for myself only. So, in here we see the science of the soul being preached, say, the science of the soul being brought out. Uh, uh, the whole world is struggling from time and time with identity crisis. Uh, Entire universe and since eternity, this is not just a thing of the year for the year 2023 for 11th of September 2023. No, it is something since eternity. The uh, Everyone is struggling with deep identity crisis, and actually it is this identity crisis which is leading to all other crises in the world. All other crises, call it job crisis, economic crisis, um, food crisis, water crisis, whatever, health crisis. It is all stemming out of this identification crisis. It's a bit of a irony, right? If we don't understand who we are, if one doesn't understand who he is, how can he act? If one does not know who he is, will he be able to act any wisely, any properly, any correctly? The beginning of life is when we understand who we are. That is where when life begins. Suppose a politician, a teacher, a sports player, if they don't know who they are, how can one act? How can one act? One cannot. So, maybe a question for all of us. What would you say who we are? What is our identity? Some of us, some of us might have heard this word soul, na soul in Sanskrit, atma or soul. What do you think? What is who we are? What is our identity? Venus Prabhu, any thoughts?
Well, I can say at least that we are not this body. We are some kind of body, right? But yeah, then the question should be what kind of body we are, which body we are.
Okay, sure, nice. Yeah. Uh, who we are? What is our identity? See, uh, actually, we become little bit see this world now. There are various definitions of material world. One of the definition of material world could it be? This is something again to personally check out. Say, could it be what? Uh, One of the definition, just how to best say it in English. Say, mm, it's like in say we can check. Okay, one of the definition of material world could it be the uh, lunatics have taken over the mental asylum. What does lunatic mean? Lunatic, right? The lunatics have taken over the mental asylum. Uh, and who is a lunatic, Sim? Who is a lunatic? What does a lunatic mean? The basic, the basic foundation or this principle or existence of someone being called a lunatic, one who doesn't understand who he is, uh, what his functioning, what his role is. Uh, Crazy in the sense what one is supposed to do, but what is one doing, as opposed to what one is supposed to do. All of us, doesn't matter atheist or theist, we all understand, okay, what I should be doing and what I am doing. And we all can realize for ourselves there is a gap. There is a gap between the two. Uh, at a certain moral level. Now, how do we bridge the gap and how do we understand? So, like, okay, maybe one way of seeing this is the Vedic literatures. In the literatures proclaim what? That we are spiritual beings. We are not this body, we are spirit souls. We are spiritual beings. This is the very foundation, very basic foundation. What else? They proclaim reincarnation. What does reincarnation mean? What is reincarnation in Spanish? Reincarnatio. What does reincarnation mean? After that, getting into another life. Mm, nice. Any other thoughts? What does reincarnation mean? Yeah, like a cycle being stuck in material world. And many times we hear what some people with good faith, let's say, but out of their ignorance, they say, "Oh, Krishna's reincarnation." Yeah, by the way, Krishna never reincarnates. He never reincarnates. He takes incarnation. One way to, I mean, thing is, Krishna is having all the fun every time. And the sooner we understand it and the sooner we handle and digest with it, we will also have fun all the time. So Krishna never reincarnates, he takes incarnations to bring variegatedness in his fun, having fun element. We certainly take reincarnation means what? Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Again and again taking birth, again and again giving up this body. Why? Because living in material consciousness. So, because we are so stuck with this material identity, our identity, so much of affinity and association with matter, and furthermore, whatever it takes male body, female body, identity, designation, nationality, furthermore, and all then we keep on changing bodies. Transmigration of the soul is transmigrating from one body to another body, one body to another body. Actually, the soul is hankering for a permanent eternal shelter. Body is what? A shelter for the soul, na? A residence for the soul, uh, a refuge for the soul. And we are hankering for a permanent eternal body. But because of this misidentification crisis, because let's say our mind is a bit cranky, then we are not able to find who we are, what our goal and purpose and role in life is. So it is the basic fundamental of life, living existence. What? Reincarnation. We are not this body, we are spirit soul. Also, Karma. What does karma mean? Very popular word, na? Or a bit of a popular word in society. What does karma mean? Yeah, sure. Can use mic also maybe.
So one of the most common definitions of karma is, yeah, good karma, bad karma. That's how they define
Yeah.
it.
See, we are so okay. I'm so shallow or hollow. If asked to speak on some subject matters, na reincarnation, karma, and all, cannot say more than two sentences or something. There are many, say, many good Indian Hindu friends we meet, right? Doing book distribution and all. And yeah, oh Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, very good. There's such good affinity, of course, and very good familiarity. But the struggle to, I don't know why they struggle to preach and furthermore and all and express. So yeah, karma, okay, good karma, bad karma, hmm, this thing. Karma essentially means action, just acting, just action. And we all are bound up heavily by karmic entanglement. All of us, we don't know how much, but heavy karmic entanglement. Why? Because previously we acted something and now we are reaping the fruits of it, the benefits of it, or the boons or curse of it, whatever it is. What is the way to come out of this karmic cycle? What is the way to end the karmic cycle altogether? Cycle, no? Like we do something good, we receive something good. We do something bad, we receive something bad. And that's going on. It's very difficult for our mind to also comprehend anything beyond good and bad. Very difficult for our mind to maybe something similar. Is comparison good in life? Should we do comparison? Is comparison good? Should a spiritual practitioner should he do comparisons? Person who is practicing spirituality is deemed to be a holy, moral, gentle, saintly person. Na? Should he be doing comparison? Hare Krishna. We cannot live without comparison. We cannot live. Uh, Comparison is good. Comparison is good. We cannot live without how do we otherwise find an inspiration to grow or a role model or someone to emulate, huh? So comparison is required, but again comparison doesn't seem to be having a good reputation, at least in the western world. I don't know much, sorry, at least in India, born and raised in India. uh, um, Comparison doesn't have a good reputation, at least in India. Don't know much in the western world, say. But we cannot live without comparison. Our mind will go again crazy or bonkers if we cannot compare. And if we check ourselves on a daily basis, see, are we not comparing? On a daily basis, how much do we compare if we do little bit of introspection uh, within ourselves and all? So comparison is very essential. It's very healthy. Uh, Depends like what are we comparing, what are we aiming for, bridging this gap from where we are and where we ought to be. So the Vedic literatures proclaim we are not this body, we are spirit, soul, the law of karma, karmic cycle. What is the way to come out of this karmic cycle, that doing good and receiving good, doing bad and receiving bad? We are stuck heavy big time in this karmic cycle. The only and only way to come out of karmic entanglement is to become entangled in love. That is the only way. When in love, no karma. Only when in love, then no karma. Otherwise, one could be a faithful, loyal person, best faithful, loyal person, but his loyalty will pull him down, which is not attached to Krishna, which is not for Krishna, which is not in a loving relationship, which is not out of love for Krishna, that very loyalty will pull him down. So the only and only way to come out of karmic entanglement is by falling in love with Krishna or becoming entangled in love with Krishna. We see some glimpses of it in our lives as well. Um, Mother, she looks after her child, but she never receives any pay for it, right? No, no salary, no pay. And if we see the amount of hours, the amount of efforts, and the concentration mother puts in raising the child, huh? But no money involved, and it is out of love, pure out of love, say loving emotion, loving service. Of course, like this can also be debatable. Again, one thing of us Kali Yuga species is we bring anything, everything is debatable. No, it's not true. Not every mom does it and all. Hmm. But the same when the child is looked after by anyone else, a nurse or someone, then there's pay involved, and or however nicely the other person will be looking, say, but still there is a pay involved. So the only way कर्माणि निर्दहति किंतु च भक्ति भाजाम Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajami. Lord Brahma, in his realization, he tells us in Brahma Samhita that the only way to come out of karmic entanglement is to fall in love with Krishna. When we are in love with someone, then no real karma. And by someone meaning when we are in love with Krishna. Otherwise, in societal sense, how much self-care, how much self-love, again, these words, so glamoury, so cool, or maybe, oh yeah, we should be self-care, or this what, self-value, and some more on these lines. But until and unless we understand the self who is connected eternally with Krishna, we cannot do self-love, we cannot do self-care. Prabhupada used to say, beautiful Prabhupada says in Science of Self-Realization, I believe he says what? Self-realization follows God realization. Self-realization follows God realization. Without God realization, no self-realization, no proper clear self-realization. So, take it this way, the Vedic literatures claim that we are not this body, we are spiritual beings, we are spirit soul. And reincarnation exists means we are stuck in this cycle wherein the soul is changing bodies, the soul is taking different bodies, so much so animals, plants, water bodies and all changing different bodies, taking different bodies and all. And karma actions, so we do something either good or bad, and no one is free from not doing anything. So all this now, what makes us like kind of be convinced that actually I am this body, I am not spirit soul. Whatever, what can we say of our identity and be firm with it? Yes, this is my identity. Vedic literatures claim we are not this body. Can do we have a counter argument for it? What is our best counter argument we can bring up, we can come up with? That I am this body. Yes, Pip. I know you. Whenever there's counter argument, Pip raises his hand.
Someone could say that, like, the soul, you can't see it, so how can it be real? The body, you can see it, so is real.
Shri Shri Khoranita Mayapur Sashi ki. Many say na, seeing is believing. There's some bit of truth in it, say, but yes, Panchadutta.
I think we feel many things in relation to this body. Like we feel happiness when we get nice food. We feel pain when there's some suffering. We feel embarrassed. Um, we feel love for those people who are related to this body. We feel strongly a sense of nationality or something. I come from this country, etc. This is all. These are, you could probably experience these feelings.
So this being like a counter argument which makes us, yes, we are this body, or we cannot say we are not this body. Say, any other? So, mm, this thing that well, I can see the body, I cannot see the soul, sort of thing. Na? Now, not sure. Like if we have this. Prabhupada says this, and what do we see? Like uh, the scene, uh, ghee, right? Alfredo ghee, butter when it is more and more heated, say, and more purified. What comes out of it when it becomes even more clear is this some an element called as ghee, a substance ghee. Now, where does ghee come from? It comes from actually milk. From milk, butter is made, from butter, ghee is made. But we cannot see the ghee in the milk itself. We cannot see it. But it doesn't mean that it is not there. It doesn't mean. So there is a process by which we can see. This seeing actually is not very strong. How much can we say? Like, how many of us here have seen our father? All of us. Okay. How many of us have seen our grandfather? Some of us. How many of us have seen our great grandfather? How many of us have seen our great great grandfather? Only Lila Manjari has seen her great 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 grandfather. And how many of us have seen our great 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 grandfather? None of us. Which means what? Our great 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 grandfather didn't exist. Huh? No. Existed, we didn't see it, huh? So this seeing now, what do we see? The body is changing throughout. uh, the body is changing throughout, but we are very attached or enamored or attracted by truth is very appealing to all of us, huh? And we are looking for this absolute truth, which is unchangeable, which is the identity of the soul, which is the desire to be ever happy. We are seeing this body, but within the body, what do we know or what do we see? Na? The body itself is changing, so what are we seeing? What worth is that seeing when it is subject to change or very much changing? And also, just to comment on this thing, that we have a lot of cultural affinity, say, with the body. We become happy, we become sad when we dress well, when we do not dress well, say, when we receive some appreciation, don't receive some appreciation. And furthermore, language and national and political, this ideology and agendas and sort of things, or when our favorite football team wins or loses, so we identify a lot and all. So yes, this is all uh, kind accumulated or stored in the subconscious or conscious mind. In the subconscious or conscious mind, these impressions, these desires, these everything. But the soul proper is aloof. The soul proper is completely aloof from all of it. Soul is never materially entangled, is not at all materially entangled. Now this is fascinating. We cannot deny, we cannot deny that we are not having this much of material attachment or a material affinity or this association and identification with friends, family, society, and all. But the soul proper is completely aloof. The soul is not at all mixing and all. So, how is it so? Because of this consciousness, because this wrong identification with the body, because of this perverted level of consciousness. Because we think we are the body, then everything is there, everything is there, and it is this biggest bubble of illusion we are carrying. And when this bubble of illusion is say broken, then yes, that is coming to, in a way, coming to our soul identity. Because it is not to say that we are not this body. The soul has a connection with the body. The soul is taking shelter or residing in the body, but in in trueness, in its identity proper, it is not this body, it is completely spiritual, completely spiritual, completely aloof from the body. But because we identify strongly with the body, then we have all these relationships and everything. And look, it doesn't really pinch us much, na? That, oh, I was some other person in some other life, now I am this person, next life. So, who am I? What is my real identity? Who actually am I? And this is the source of all our confusion, all our struggle, anxiety, stress, depression, whatnot. Who actually am I? And until and unless we get this settled, whatever we do, it is going to just give us some sort of temporary relief only, no permanent relief, no permanent solution. And mind is very amazing, uh, how to engage the mind. So, practicing Krishna consciousness, we do mantra meditation. Na? Mantra meditation, that is essentially engaging the mind in understanding our spiritual identity, giving the mind some engagement. Like here we see in this purport, yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajanti ante kalevaram. Uh, in whatever mood we are absorbed in, we are contemplating, we are thinking, that sort of world is open for us. That sort of reality or creation is open for us. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam. Uh, we are a product of our consciousness, or we are a product of our contemplation, we are a product of our own ideology or what we think. We become that, we are a product of that. So if we actually consider ourselves to be a spiritual being, a spiritual body, and not in theory, just I'm not this material body, I'm a spirit soul. How does it help? What does it help? It definitely gives an inclination, a push or something. But next is, what does a spirit soul do? What does he act? How does he act? What does he do? It is not that we don't sleep or we don't eat, but the consciousness level has to change altogether. Okay, maybe I will take a pause here if there are any questions, comments, or any clarifications.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. We're reading in the purport that the mind is dictating the next body, it's leading us into the next body. Why is it the mind that's doing this? Because we're to understand that the spirit soul is more powerful, is higher than the intelligence. The entire intelligence is higher than the mind. So why is it that the mind has such a power?
Very nice question. The soul is completely powerful, and again, the soul is completely aloof also. The soul is not materially entangled, it is just the consciousness which we think that we are entangled. Uh, when we come to real knowledge, say, we will discover, okay, there's nothing to get liberated. Why? Because there was no bondage in the first place to begin with. But for the soul residing in the body, and the these desires, mind, intelligence, ego, everything comes, the soul misidentifying with the body, taking itself to the body. Because we misidentify with the body, then the creation and the elements have to be provided. Okay, mind is given, intelligence is given, and these different categories or these different brackets. This is mind, this is intelligence, this is the ego, the identity, hmm? And this is the consciousness bit, then senses, the desires, and then karma, everything. And these are basics. These are, for religion or spirituality, this is the basic to understand reincarnation. If religion or spirituality, if we cannot understand reincarnation, we cannot really, that is very, very, then we have completely watered down everything and made it so simplified that we are completely lost or confused. And this thing. So for the soul misidentifying with body, then this mind intelligence, everything is given. And because of this misidentification and deep rooted conditioning, mind becomes the overpowering agent, say the overpowering personality, rules. Mind then rules over the intelligence. The soul proper knows as well, say, but the mind is so fickle, the mind is so spread out and all, that the mind then rules it all over. Mind rules over the senses as well, the mind rules over the intelligence as well. And this is why mantra meditation throughout, na, this emphasis on mind is given, because mind is the connecting link between the uh, soul and the body. The mind is the connecting link that connects us to wherever different where we are, where our mind is. So mind is the connecting link, and the mind is like mind relishes confusion, or mind relishes clarity. All of these things, mind relishes all these things. Shall I share a bit of a joke? Speaking of just say confusion, clarity, and say mind and the soul. Why say? Hope I can remember it clear, and I hope I can put it also clear. But anyways, you may still laugh when I am done, please. Don't shy from laughing. Still laugh when I'm done. I will let you know when I'm done and when to laugh. So, say it was a weekend, and pleasant weather, say, and wife asking husband, say, that okay, won't go out, and I will make some good dinner. What would you like to have for dinner? What I would make some good dinner, say, okay. Now, fine. So the man says, okay, make what, falafel. Falafel. Oh, no, not falafel. I'm not in the mood to make falafel. Tell me something what you like, and I will make falafel. Okay, fine, then make paneer sabji. Make paneer cheese sabji. No, we had it day before yesterday, no? We just had it day before yesterday. Something else, what you like. Okay, then make pizza, but we don't have this tomato, we don't have this thing, so we can. Okay, then make maybe some Chinese, make some noodles or something. No, but then it takes lots of time to make that. But tell me what you like, I will make what you want. Huh? I really want to cook, I'm in a mood to cook. You tell whatever. Make this, make that sort of thing and all. And but every time, no, but this is not, no, this is not. That's kind of the mind and the dialogue between, say, the soul and the mind. And the, now you see who is more powerful in this, who is more powerful. Like we are saying, no, no, I want to do this and all, but no, but this. For the soul proper, actually there's no if and no but. No, for a pure devotee of Krishna, na, when in pure Krishna consciousness, in that mood, in that realm, in that love, there's no if and no but as such, they don't exist. But, and especially someone advancing, na, the sooner we come out of this tendency, what? Oh, he's a nice devotee. He's a nice person. Does good kirtan. Because now look, we are conditioned. We are training ourselves. All right, that how to speak. Huh? Don't start off with negative. Start off with positive. We listen to so many motivational talks as well. So many motivational talks. How to win an argument in a business case and all. In making relationships. Never start off with negative, never say no and all, start off on a positive note and all, and then slip in, bring in. So what, he's a good devotee, good kirtan leader, he does nice tilak and all, but but so if we advancing Krishna consciousness, we have to get rid of this but, get rid of this if. Imagine one day we will be what, this body will be 60-year old, this body will be 70-year old, say this body becomes 80-year old, say one day this body will become 130 years old, one day will this body will take what, 150 years old. So imagine when you are 150 years old. This is also a blessing in Kali Yuga, a real blessing that we don't live for 100 plus or 90 plus or 80 plus. It's a big, big blessing. See now, this crazy mind, and if we are given a body in Kali Yuga which lives 200 years, what will it be like? Oh, so heavy. Actually, when we see life, we'll realize what everything Krishna has given to us is in a way to bring us closer to Him. Everything, the way it is designed, and whatever is happening in my current life, I can be Krishna conscious from here on. Complete. So one day we will be say 50-year-old, 60-year-old in this body, and the body will be 50-year-old, 60 year. But this consciousness, when we become 60-year-old, say in this body, would we still want to have this consciousness? What? Okay, he's good, but Prasadam was good, but everything good, but so this but is no good, or this if is no good. Huh? So, because of this misidentification, the mind overpowers. The mind overpowers the soul. Mind overrules the soul. Just like come, I will have things for dinner. I'll make something, but this, but that, but this, but that. But we don't have sauce. We don't have this. We don't have this. We don't have time. But we had it previously. We had it just day before. Nah, no, we don't feel like. And but I want to. So that is the thing. Then the soul proper is fine, just the mind then overpowers and takes over, and then intelligence gives up. The mind becomes so influencing because of this perverted consciousness. And when we actually take on to a process, like spiritual life means what? Taking on to a process, not taking on to a practice, coming to a discipline. Without discipline, no one can achieve anything in this world. No one can achieve. Um, uh, no one can achieve anything in this world. So we have to be disciplined and we have to train ourselves, train our mind, and further on, further on. Does this somewhat answer your question? Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So, I think in Bhagavad Gita it says like that to control the mind, it is more difficult to control mind than to control wind. So, is there a way of controlling the mind and making him our friend? You know.
In Bhagavad Gita itself, then it says, no, the very next verse, Krishna first is acknowledging that yes, it is very difficult to control the mind. It is easier to control the wind. Arjuna says this, and Krishna then acknowledges in response that asamsayam mahabaho manodurni graham chalam. Uh, yes, Krishna acknowledges that asamsayam mahabaho. Hey Arjuna, mighty armed Arjuna, it is difficult, certainly difficult to control the mind. Manodurni graham chalam. And what does he say? Abhyas yogena tu konteya vairagyena che grihate. By suitable practice, by regular practice, not just practice, by something suitable, by something appropriate, by proper practice and detachment, mind can be controlled. By good suitable practice and detachment. See, we give this example, right? Devotees share this example. What? That there are many games and sports in Olympics, na? Many games, right? One of the game is what? This rifle shooting. One of the game is archery. One of the game is what? This dart, right? Dart throwing on. Now, some games, how long they last? This rifle shooting or dart or archery, how long does it last? Doesn't go for long. Na? There could be stages and rounds, okay, throwing darts or shooting like this, right? Aiming and archery and shooting sort of thing. But how long? Doesn't last any long. But look, for this, the person, the sports person, if not 4 years, he spends maybe 3 years time and all practicing good number of years and good number of time he practices to practice. Well, someone may say, "Na, oh, come on, anyone can just take it and throw it. What's the big deal? You take this, aim and throw. You take this, okay, you need little bit practice, 6 months you practice, but before that he goes into so many tournaments as well, different national, international tournaments and all, and then comes to Olympics and trains himself and prepares himself and for this. So again, the question, or in response to the question, by appropriate proper practice and detachment. Detachment is a must. It is a must. If we do not detach ourselves, we will not find ourselves. If we cannot, we may be doing the all proper practice and everything, but then if we do not detach, just like appearing for exam, one may have done all of his studies and very nice, but then if he is not refraining from watching television or going to football or sleeping late and overeating and all, then okay, you might have studied, but by indulging in all of this, that study, that focus is getting a bit shattered, or the intensity or the of it is coming down. So the way is by regular practice and detachment, and slowly and steadily, gradually, and this is what we see in purport also. Savai mane Krishna padar vindayo, by gradually building it up. Does that answer your question, Sam? Okay, I think we can maybe leave it here. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम महापुराण की, शिला प्रभुपाद की, जय गौर प्रेमानंदी।